everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek, you are watching Kevin the Geek, and welcome back to my monthly video where I respond to your comments from the previous month. Now, first of all, what I do need to just have a very quick say and thank you to everyone is, of course, to all of the new subscribers. So over the course of June, despite me actually not really uploading much because obviously I went away on holiday, I gained 99 new subscribers. 31 of those have made their names publicly available, so I know 31 of those 99. So if all goes well with my editing, they should be scrolling through and you should be able to see all the names of those people who've publicly named themselves. So thank you to each and every single one of those 99 new subscribers. I'm gutted that I couldn't have a nice round 100. That would have been beautiful. But regardless, for it being a relatively quiet month, it was actually one of my most successful months with various things. So thank you to everybody. Now I'm going to try and not let this video be quite as long as it would normally be because of, of course, there's like 12 days or so where I didn't have any videos going out at all, so hopefully this one can be a little bit quicker. But I just want to start off with a very quick thank you, and as of course I have to put out a little disclaimer. I apologize, I can't read out every single comment that has always been left, but I only try and respond to ones that I feel that I can actually give a response to. But don't forget, always do drop your comments down below, give me suggestions, all those different stuff. Now, I wanted to start with, normally I go kind of in order from when my videos got released. I'll go look at the earliest one. I'll just go through and I'll take a couple of comments from each of them where I can. But I wanted to start with one that was left on the very last video that I did at the end of June, which was the Still Game reaction. Series 7 Episode 1, because I think that this could apply to a multitude of different of my videos. Samuel Martin said, Dailymotion, there are adverts every 2 to 3 minutes, so unfortunately I couldn't watch it, I'm sorry. Now, the reason I want to start with this one is, obviously I want to explain how I do things. If you're not already aware, of course, there will be videos that get blocked, and some will get partially blocked, and some will be entirely free to watch. The ones that get blocked, I obviously have to upload them elsewhere, and I try and do it Dailymotion for the most part because the Google Drive is one that I have to pay for, and I get a limited amount of space with it. So I only try and do those for ones that actually get blocked themselves on Dailymotion, which isn't that many, to be perfectly fair, but there are ones that do get blocked off there. So I want to try and avoid that where I can, to avoid using up the space where I can. Now, with Dailymotion, I am aware that it uses a lot of ads. Now, when I put the link in my videos, you'll see that it's not just dailymotion.com/video/blah blah. It is there's the word embed in that link, in all the links, and because I found the embedded versions will either not give you any ads at all, or if they do, they give you less than the non-embedded versions, basically. Now, that is still going to be an issue for some people, like Samuel. You found that that's a bit of an issue for you, and it makes the things in your views unwatchable. So there's a couple of workarounds with that. Now, if you're going on a browser, I obviously can't comment for all of them. I personally use Google Drive as my most my main one, basically, and you can see here that I have one, AdBlock Plus, free ad blocker, and so I have that for when I watch Dailymotion videos from my computer. Now, if I click here onto one of my videos, this was a Taskmaster one, you can see that there's a Dailymotion ad blocker detected bit on here. Now, that is not an issue because there is still a workaround with that. So normally on here, Dailymotion go, oh, you can't watch it because there needs to be ad blocker. So here's what I do. I will go back on, I will turn off my ad blocker. I'll go back to it, I will refresh that page, and then you can see here is my video. Okay, it's there, it's now playing. It didn't play an ad there at the start, I don't know why. But I can then turn it back on without needing to refresh it, it will play without the ads on the video now. So I had to refresh it whilst the ad blocker was off, and then as soon as it loads up, turn the ad blocker back on, and that is how I can then watch the video. I can watch it in its entirety here on Dailymotion, and that's on my computer. Now, if you are watching something on your phone, for example, I have a different one. I have a free ad blocker browser that I've downloaded for my phone. Again, it's just from the Google Play Store. Again, you'll have to have a look. It might be the same on Android. It may be different. On like Apple or anything like that. I will try and put a screenshot up or something here on the screen so you can see the one that I personally use. I never get adverts, and I don't have to do anything like with here. With this, like you have to turn it off or anything. And literally, I'll just put the link into that free ad blocker browser, and it plays absolutely fine. So there's just a couple of workarounds for you if you feel that, you know, normally with the Dailymotion, it's just too much for you in that regard. I think that's absolutely fair. The Hooniverse, the Geek is back, and he's back in style. I hope you had a great holiday and a well-deserved rest. I did. I absolutely did. It was absolutely wonderful. I was out there for basically 11 days, all in all, in Bulgaria, to the hotel. What was it? Aqua Nevison Club Hotel or something like that, because it had a water park on site, and there was great, you know, there's various water slides and stuff. Now I may be doing a video, you know, in the coming weeks that isn't really going to be a thing that, you know, most of you are going to really watch. It is more something for me. I'm thinking I could try and create like a everything you need to know about this hotel kind of video, and it might be one that if enough people are looking for that hotel, they might watch it, and they, you know, it might give me a little bit extra money, because some videos I've seen for those kind of ones, they go into like some of the thousands, and there's not that many of them for this one. So I thought I might do that. So if you see that one, that's the reason why I'll be releasing that video. But yeah, for you guys, I don't imagine it's really going to be something you're going to want to watch. I mean, you might do, for all I know. But yeah, it was a good trip. I had a lot of fun with my nephew and my sister. A few little tiffs and things. A couple of tantrums from the nephew's point of view. But yeah, a lot of sunshine. I came back and I had to get antibiotics and stuff from the doctors. I got put on a course of penicillin because my feet swelled up from insect bites, and they're only just sort of starting to recover. And it's been about a week since I've come back. I can't see. Yeah, the ones on my hands, I don't know how well. There was one, it was really big on my hand, so you can still just about see where it was. But yeah, most of them are healing up quite nicely now. But it was very good to have a break, and I'm glad that you guys didn't miss me too much with that. Now going back to the videos from the start of the month, I did the Still Game Children Need special, the sort of matchup with River City. River City is a Scottish soap. It was good in the early 2000s, but it's garbage now, unfortunately. That tends to be the general consensus I think I hear of every soap that's around in the UK currently, but who am I to argue? Back to Samuel actually on this one. Why is your face covering the screen unless it's copyright? So again, this was the Children Need one, and I really wish that I could give you a great answer and that it was copyright or there was some major thing. I can't do that. The reason my face filled the screen throughout that entire reaction is because I'm a twat, and I forgot to minimise my face when I was doing my editing, and by the time it was uploaded and I realised it, I had already deleted the raw footage. So yeah, I could have gone back and redid it, but I was really up against it time-wise. I probably would have had like an hour and a half before it was due to go live, so yeah, it was one of those. And I thought, with it being a Children Need one, I'll just let it slide, rather than trying to fake it and try to recreate the recording. I just thought, nah, I'll just leave it. Yeah, if it was a full episode of Still Game, I might have done that, but no, with it being children, I just sorry, but yeah, it's because I'm an absolute twazzock, basically. A lot of Scots did indeed emigrate to Canada, so a few comments kind of suggested all around that kind of stuff, and that's good. I like the fact that I've sort of picked up on something there. That's quite nice. Great reaction to Bernard Student. Really enjoyed this one. I totally forgot about the pilot episode. That was great. Episode 1 is really good and introduces all of the reoccurring characters brilliantly. Looking forward to you seeing the first series. So what I'm thinking at the moment, I obviously need to complete Chewing the Fat Series 1. I think I've got 1 episode left to go. And then I'm thinking either I do all of Bernard Student Series 1, then I've got something to compare it with, and then go month by month and kind of alternate between the two. Or I might just do the alternation anyway, but not necessarily just do all of Series 1 to catch up to where I am with Still Game. I don't know. I'll have a think about that. But I liked what I saw with Bernard Student, and sorry, Bernard Student, sorry. And I'd like to see more of it. If I was Gary in Goodnight Sweetheart, I would have just asked Ron to photocopy all the World War II books for me, then sell them on. After that, I'd probably stick to libraries. The only problem with that is, you know, the financial thing is one thing for Gary and Yvonne. It's his obsession with it and his loyal pangs for Phoebe that is the main problem there. I'm obviously, the day I'm recording this is the day that my first 2 episodes to Series 2 went live. Check them out if you haven't seen them already. But from those first 2 episodes, I'm really intrigued as to where this series is going to go. They've sort of teased where they're going to go, and it's setting up a damn good series, basically. I love that you didn't need all of the answers and just enjoyed the ride. It certainly made me think and come up with my own theories, which I have enjoyed. I became more frustrated with some people that wanted answers spoon-fed to them, and hated it because they were neither willing to think for themselves or willing to just enjoy it for what it was. So that was the Doctor Who episode 4, 73 Yards, and that was a great episode. That really, really was. I really enjoyed that episode, and again, at the time of me recording, I've recorded and released the first 5 episodes. I'm due to record the next episode right after I complete this. And yeah, I'm a person that like Lost. I've mentioned Lost a lot, but that's a really good comparison for me. Lost is a show that so much of stuff I read in like forums and stuff, like back in the day when I looked at it, they were always like, oh, they teased this thing here and they posed this question to us, and now we really need these answers. I was like, look, if they give us answers, they do. If they don't, they don't. Just enjoy it. That's my personal philosophy with it. I think people get too hung up with trying to have answers and solve every question and query and things that happens. I think sometimes just roll with it, you know? I keep seeing comments about things I didn't know you'd reacted to. Slowly building up a playlist, which will probably take me a week to get through already. Adding Black Books to the list now, and still less than halfway through this video. So, Angel Wedge, you basically inspired me with this comment. So I'd read this before, pretty much at the time you left it last month. And if none of you have seen it, what I've started doing, at some point I'm going to go back and add it to all of my videos. But in the video descriptions of most of my recent videos, if you look in the video description, you will now see that there is a Google Drive document. And so this document I've created, and it's basically, it's just a list basically, and a bullet point list and everything. And I've basically tried to tailor it out and go, this is literally every single show or series or whatever that I have done a reaction to. And next to each name of one, so Chewing the Fat or Still Game or Benidorm or whatever, there is a link. There's a clickable link, which if you click it, it will either take you to the video, if it is literally a single video, like for example the Audience with Billy Connolly video, or if it's a one I've done more of, say Benidorm or Still Game or whatever, it will take you to the playlist that I have created. So you click on the link within the Google Drive document, and that's where you can find all of the reactions that I've done for whichever show it is. And I've done it for the movies as well, and things like that. So go back and check that out at any point. If you're thinking of suggesting something, you go, oh, I don't know if Kevin's watched that, and you don't want to try and work it out, just click on there and you'll see it all. So hopefully that makes things a little bit easier for you, and you might stumble across something I did a year ago that you didn't know I did. There you go. With character development, remember Helen Brittis in Series 1? She was pretty sane and normal, and always explaining Gordon's behaviour. Can you imagine later Helen having the wherewithal to keep a party tray frozen for whenever Gordon arranges a get-together? She and Laura used to be each other's sanity blanket. You know what? when the time comes for me doing the finale, I might do a rewatch of the very first episode before I do that. I probably won't do it as a releasing, as a video on the channel, but it is definitely one I think prior to that very final episode, it'd be good to see that and go back and actually think, yeah, this is where we came from. This is all the stuff that happened in the first series. This is what's happened, in the first episode, and this is what's all happening in the last episode. I think that'd be good to refresh yourself. But yeah, Helen has probably had the biggest character development and also at the same time the least amount of character development. I hope you get what I mean by that. I've seen Dave Gorman live a few times and he's so good. If you get a chance to see him, you really should. I think the most recent tour that he did come to a town near me and I could have gone to see it, but I think by the time that I knew who Dave Gorman was and started doing him on the channel, he was basically sold out in every venue that he went to. So I'm going to try and keep my eyes peeled, but I need you guys to keep your eyes peeled as well. As soon as you see anything announced, like he's doing any kind of tour or show that you can get tickets for, let me know, because I want to see him. I really want to see Dave Gorman live. Hi Kevin, I noticed the first 3 minutes are missing from the Ramsey Nesbitt episode. This episode is where they're loading the miniman with booze, and Rab is of course moaning about the tournament. If you cut it, fair enough, but just in case you didn't know about it. Nope, I didn't even realise that there was anything missing from that. I mean, I don't know, I kind of did, because obviously every episode that I had in the file that I had, it always had the title sequence. In that one it didn't. So I just thought, oh, it's just going straight into the episode. So that would at least explain that. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted with that. But no, I didn't cut it. It wasn't there in the file that I had, and I didn't realise it was missing. In that tournament, in that Ramsey Nesbitt episode, Scotland lost 1-0 to Costa Rica and Brazil, but beat Sweden 2-1. And I looked it up afterwards, and what actually was shown in that is what happened in real life. So I like the fact that in that football episode, they did kind of keep it real. But that was an absolutely fantastic episode. I really, really liked that one. That one, and I think the one where they go on holiday to... Well, it's not Benidorm, is it? Someone proved me wrong with that one. Yeah, when they went to Spain. I think those two are, to this point, I think they're my two favourite episodes. From the Benidorm episode, Series 7, Episode 2, I think the thing with the music tracks is Wrecking Ball was a proper version, and your version is maybe specifically for reactions to avoid copyright, maybe. Because in your Series 6 reactions, I noticed a few episodes had different music to the actual TV versions. Could be wrong, but it's a shame, because in Series 6 in particular, the music alterations made the scenes less impactful, funny, or emotional. I think that the only ones that they obviously don't change are, of course, any of the karaoke scenes, because you kind of need it. It is literally the point of the story, and clearly they would have had the rights to that or anything. I don't know whether it's a copyright thing or not, because obviously there was ones that were available to go on YouTube. Most notably, I vaguely remember, I think it was from Series 4, the one that I worked out, it was the one where there was a weird cut, because obviously they were talking about Rihanna, but then they cut the Rihanna track, so yeah, it felt weird. So obviously that was one that could go onto YouTube, which was not blocked, but it was restricted in the same way that every other one was. But yet the ones in Series 6 and kind of beyond, where I've not been able to get them onto YouTube, they don't really have it. I think what it's most likely is there was an agreed copyright for either the broadcast or for a certain period of time. And when that time comes to an end, they legally have to change that music. Now, the one that I think is the most notable one for me that I remember, I think it was a TV show called Charmed, about witches and things. I remember my sister loving that one. I only vaguely remember it, but the theme tune that was the main theme tune, I always remember that I absolutely loved. And when it came to producing the last series on DVD, which was I think series 8, it was something like the theme tune had been present as it had always been when it was aired on TV, but by the time it came to putting it onto DVD, the rights to the track for that had elapsed. So on the DVD versions, it had to be changed, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's something boring like that. Obviously, you will notice that in the most recent one I did for episode 3, I did the original broadcast version of Benidorm because someone sent me that file, because they said the scene where Jeff enters in particular is basically the one where you really want the original music, which of course was the Tina Turner one. And I went back and I did check it out, and that was indeed changed. And that one, I definitely agree, it was less impactful by changing out the Tina Turner Simply the Best music to a boring generic piece of music. So I get that. And maybe if someone wants to send me either links or send me the actual files for a decent quality one for the rest of the episodes, I'm down for that, and I could always do those versions rather than the ones I've got, which I'll probably, again, music has been changed for. Still on the Benidorm episode, it was not until recently that I realised where I had seen Psychic Sue before. She was the ballet instructor on an episode of Are You Being Served? I've not seen that, but someone else did mention that she was in Coronation Street, and when I looked that up, I couldn't believe that I completely missed it, because she played the wife of Mike Baldwin. For those of you who weren't Corrie fans, Mike Baldwin and Ken Barlow had a big feud, most notably over Deirdre for years. But then later on they settled down, so by the time I was watching it, Ken was with Deirdre and Mike was with, I think it was Alma, I think her name was Alma, and that's who Psychic Sue played in that. And I always remember that, because I think she got killed off, I think, for like cancer or something like that. And then obviously he got killed off with like Alzheimer's and stuff, which was truly, I remember that death scene of Mike Baldwin dying. That was a very sad, emotional day. That was probably the last great episode that I remember watching. With Doctor Who, Series 1, Episode 5, this was the Dot and Bubble episode. I think at first you were meant to dislike her, then you was meant to think that she could be redeemed by Ricky, then she betrays him, which was meant to be a shock. The twist at the end that they were all white supremacists makes you realise on second viewing of all the casual racism from Lindy in the build-up to that point. The not being able to walk outside the bubble at first was clearly vertigo, and not really needing the arrows as they all thought. That's why she adapted as the vertigo wore off. As a sufferer of vertigo, that seemed clear to me. If you spent all your awake time in a spinning bubble, your balance will be shot when removing the bubble. I like that idea about the vertigo. That's something that, as a non-vertigo sufferer, hadn't really occurred to me. So I like your thinking with that one, and I think that's definitely a plausible viewpoint with that one. I obviously had to kind of re-watch that episode as I was editing it, and that was it was a lot more noticeable as I was going through it, and obviously I'm having to be paying really close attention because I'm working out where I'm going to cut and put bits of clips in for the condensed version, and oh boy, it was not as an easy rewatch. I'll definitely tell you that. You should try speed dating. I'm sure you would meet a nice man. I'd rather find a nice woman. Thank you. But no, speed dating has been suggested to me in the past, and fingers crossed I don't need it, because I mentioned it a couple of times that I've kind of had a date or two with a girl lately, and I'm in the process of organising a third date with her. So Yeah, that's a lot further than I've got in a very long time. So yeah, fingers crossed. Who knows with that one? That'll be interesting. British Series 7 Episode 2. British was an absolute troll in this episode, and I'm all here for it. From the staff performance reviews being a success, despite him realistically being a failure, to even pretending Tim doesn't exist was funny to me. Your reaction to the ending was also great. Look, you know, I know at times I can come across a little bit crabby, with certain ones. I do kind of think that it was a little bit of a stupid one, but it was still an enjoyable episode. But Series 7 as a whole far supersedes Series 6 in all avenues. It was really, really bad. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Series 6 at all, but Series 7 is off to a great start. I've done the first 4 episodes so far I've recorded for. I think episode 4 comes out tomorrow as I'm recording this. The Tartan Army did Scotland proud. The Scotland football team, well, they turned up, which is an improvement over the last 20 years, I suppose. And the Tartan Army do what they do in the face of defeat. They say, well, the other side are celebrating, so we'll just go and party with them. Yeah. So Scotland in the Euros. It was bad, wasn't it? So if I can find it, because I know I've recorded it. I need to see if I can find it. But if I can find it, I did a little recording of the moment that Hungary scored the goal in like the dying seconds of that final group stage game. If I've got it, I will stick it in the video here now.
That's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. That was amusing. There was a few Scots people at the hotel that I was staying at, but you know what? I'll say credit to Scotland for getting a draw against Switzerland, because Switzerland are doing very well in this tournament. Obviously, I put it as one of my posts when I was out on my holiday. I do feel bad for the opening game. Yeah, I thought if there was going to be a chance for them to get a result, it would have had to be playing them first, but my word, Germany went out all guns blazing, and the red card, it is completely understandable, and it was a definite red card. There's no denying that. It was dangerous. It was out of control. But I do feel bad for Ryan Porteous, because he was, attempting to clear the ball. It was an accident, but it's just that's football, isn't it, for you? And I will definitely say, in that Hungary game, Scotland were robbed. They should have had a penalty. I think it was it Callum McGregor, I think, who got brought down in the penalty box. Yeah, how that wasn't awarded as a penalty, I don't know. I really don't know. But yes, I absolutely agree. The Scottish fans were absolutely amazing. From everything I saw out there in Germany, on all the news footage and stuff, it is great. I'm surprised no reactions I've seen yet have picked up on the wine being called Wine of the Rose when Manny picks it up in the centre, referring to the grapes in the opening that would make the wine fit for the Pope. So that was obviously the Black Books episode. You know what? I'm not surprised I didn't pick up on it, because I don't speak French, which isn't helpful considering the girl that I'm currently seeing has a house out in France, and if things go well and she wants to live out there, I can't converse with the locals. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I ain't thinking too far ahead of myself. But yeah, I can imagine, that's why people probably haven't picked up on it, because they just don't speak French. And it wasn't like it was even made clear. I mean, I guess on rewatch I could make the argument that I should have picked up on it, but I'll forgive myself, Fun fact, Bill Bailey apparently got recognised at airport security in Estonia, and they proceeded to reenact the sex robot from the future bit in front of him, going Bernard, 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 and laughing the whole time. You know what? I think it's a testament to the show that it reached places as far out as places like Estonia. You could argue, going in Germany or in France or a Spain or in America, but the far Eastern European countries, hey, that's great. And it's a testament to how funny that scene was, that they are willing to reenact it, because it was great. It was absolutely great. There are two sides to Dubai. The real Dubai, that's just like every other country with crap city centres with all the same problems. And the Dubai we see on travel shows and on TV, the contrast is remarkable. You'll be forgiven for thinking it's a paradise, but lift the rug up and look underneath and it's filthy. But isn't that most cities? Don't pretty much all cities have sort of a dark, dirty underbelly? Series 2 of An Idiot Abroad is even better in my opinion, especially the Carl Comes Home episode, which is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen. Well, I enjoyed Series 1. I'm really looking forward to seeing Series 2. I always thought that this episode of the British Empire was a nod to the era when so many were losing their jobs due to automation. The British speech at the end was very, very true, and I agree, and it kind of speaks to the kind of fear that a lot of people have currently with things like AI and that AI is going to take over. I don't think it will. I think similar to technology in the sort of the 80s and the 90s, it was a sort of techno fear kind of stage. You know, obviously I wouldn't know because I was still a kid at that point. But that's, I think, what I think it was. It was techno fear. Now it's AI fear that AI is going to take over and replace all of our jobs. And I think it's not. I think both technology and AI, they're a supplement to our jobs rather than going to be actually taking over our jobs. They said after Series 5 and 6, Still Game would progressively get worse. Pish is what I think of that statement. And based solely on the first 2 episodes currently that I've seen, again, episode 2 is coming out in a couple of days at the time of me recording this, I think that the first 2 episodes are just as good as any that I saw in the first 6 series of Still Game. I can't deny that. I do think it is just as equally high quality. And okay, the production style may look a little bit different because obviously it's many years later, and it's things like the cameras are better, so they're doing them in the HD and things like that. But at the end of the day, it is the same old show, and I'm here for it, and I love it. And that is it. That is the final one that I'm doing for this week. Like I said, a shorter episode than probably the sort of nearly an hour long episode that I normally do when I respond to your comments. But like I said, I took a bit of time off. So if you missed it, do go back and check my monthly plans video where I talk about my plans for the month. Check out all of my content. Obviously, this first week of the month, I've done Benidorm Series 7 Episode 3. I've done a double header day where I did 2 episodes of Ghost, did 2 episodes of Goodnight Sweetheart. I did a re-upload to Travel Man, which was an episode that I did last year before I was able to do green screens and all this kind of different stuff. But I was able to get it unblocked, so I re-released that for you guys. Did the In-Betweeners this week. I've done British Empire Series 7 Episode 4. Double header of Dave Gorman yesterday, where we did Important Astrology Experiment and Modern Life is Goodish. Earlier on today, it should have been Still Game, fingers crossed, all being well. Of course, tomorrow is Still Game, and on Tuesday, we're going to have Outnumbered. So, yeah, stay tuned for that and all the rest of the stuff on the channel over the next month. But for now, my name is Kevin. I am a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.